This is the Getting Into Alignment podcast. Here we play in the quantum world of possibilities. If you desire it, you get to have it. My name is Alexarae Smith. I'm a business coach and spiritual teacher for women in business. I'm here to help you unlock your personal power and tap into your magnetism so that you can manifest the most incredible life for yourself and build the business of your dreams. These episodes will help you plug into the energy of infinite potentiality and teach you the tools you need to play in this world where limitations don't exist. On this podcast, I'll be talking to you about energetics, mindset, embodiment, spirituality, money, and business. Everything that you want is on the other side of you getting into alignment. Do you want to have the freedom to design your own life? Are you ready to know that you have the power to create any reality that you desire? If so, Alchemy of Manifestation, my manifestation community, is designed to help you manifest anything that you've ever desired. Within this year-long membership, you will learn proven techniques to gain the abundance, success, and happiness that you've always desired. You're going to learn to tap into the power of the universe so that you can alchemize any reality that you've ever wanted. Not only will you learn to manifest your new reality, you'll also learn how to build a new identity so that you become the person who effortlessly, energetically aligns with all of their desires. So if you're completely ready to transform your life and unlock your full potential, then join Alchemy of Manifestation today, and you can start manifesting everything you've ever desired. Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Alexarae Smith, and today is day 12 of my 30 days of manifestation podcasts. Now, each day I've really been talking about something that I see the collective is commonly doing wrong or is misunderstanding or is taking out of context when it comes to manifestation. And I find that the reason why this is happening is a lot of people are trying to learn how to manifest from TikTok videos. Like they're trying to learn everything from manifestation in a 3 to 10 minute long TikTok video. And then they're getting frustrated when their manifestations aren't coming to life. And it's like, quite honestly, if you're only learning through free information, there's only so much that you can actually get. Because you have to realize that when you invest in something, there's an energetic exchange. And when you invest in something, that's when you actually put your money where your mouth is, right? If you're just learning manifestation through TikTok content, sure, that takes some of your time because you can scroll and things like that. But technically, if you apply it and it doesn't work, or if you don't like it, you just forget about it and it doesn't affect you at all. But when you actually invest in something, you don't have that luxury, especially if it's a higher ticket thing. You are going to show up for it. That's why oftentimes mentorship is so transformative for people, not just the work that they do on themselves, but that investment and that backing in themselves and saying that I trust that I'm my biggest ROI, return on investment, and I know that I am investing in this because it's going to come back to me tenfold because of who I'm going to become in the process of this. And I find that there's still a lot of people who are, and while it's not typically the women that I work with, right? Because women in business understand that they are investing money, they are investing time, and investing money is actually the best way to invest because time is their most valuable resource. And money is an indefinite resource that's always available. So it's like when you invest in something, when you pay to get into something, you're actually paying for that teacher, that mentor, that coach to help you collapse the timeline so you get the results faster because you have someone that actually knows what you're going through, has been through it, and has also come out on the other side. And what is ironic is I find that the most common comments that I get on my posts are that people are upset that I'm charging prices. And it's like, you're not upset at the fact that you see commercials all day long and people are paying for marketing and advertisement to sell you their services. You don't complain about that. You don't complain about the McDonald's commercials. You don't complain about buying the McDonald's. Yet, when it's something that is going to actually transform your life, people are getting upset and getting triggered. And I was reading through an email that I get daily from a channel who channels daily, but if we're being fully honest, I cannot listen to this man channel. He just sounds so insane, and not in a good way. It just takes way too much time for him to get the message out there, and there's a lot of potency in his message, but I find that the way that he does it is just so distracting. I love his books, but I can't even listen to him speak. So I get a daily email, and I'm not going to tell you the channel's name just because of my personal thoughts on him, but I absolutely love the emails that I get, and I read daily just to see what the higher dimensional beings that are helping us, or what they're saying. And I've really been fluid about what these podcast episodes were going to be about, but they were talking about how they use the word source instead of God, because we've been indoctrinated to the word God, and it's basically been associated with Christianity. And if you've been in the room with me whenever anybody asks me a question about Christianity or about why we're not taught about abundance properly, or why we're not taught to be as free as we are, I will always say it's going to come down to the Roman Catholic Church, and then it's going to come down to the Industrial Revolution. And I'll always say that God isn't a Santa Claus in the sky who is condemning you if you're not a good girl or a good boy. That is not a God. That is a human-made God who has something to gain because he's basically making you be obedient in the name of being good, so that way he can sell you this false location of heaven. And it's just like a complete and total joke. But that's not what today's episode is on. But when I read the word indoctrinated, I was like, oh my God, that is exactly what we have been indoctrinated around money. And that is why so many people have such a difficult time manifesting the money that they desire, manifesting wealth, manifesting abundance, manifesting financial freedom. It's because we have been indoctrinated for so long to believe that rich people are immoral, and if you are living in poverty, you are a moral person, and there's something just about that because you're ethical and you haven't sold your soul for money, and money is the root of all evil, and all of this bullshit that is letting 99% of the population stay indoctrinated to slavery, indoctrinated to poverty. And what is so wild to me is right now, there are more spiritual teachers than ever. There are more business coaches than ever. There are more women in business than ever becoming self-made multimillionaires. There are more people than ever teaching you how to have a healthy relationship with money, how to heal your relationship with money, how to actually learn how to tap into wealth energetics. And so many people will defend their limitations and they will defend their indoctrination, not realizing that that keeps you stuck in the matrix. And in order for you to get out of the matrix, you have to become a self-aware, conscious human. And you have to start realizing that if you have unhealthy beliefs around money and they're unuseful beliefs around money, if you keep believing them and subscribing to them, you are going to keep having an unhealthy and an unuseful relationship with money. And what is so wild is money is something that we all need in order to live, in order to thrive in this society. You need to have money. So the most spiritual thing in the world is for good-hearted people to have money, because money is an energy. If that's triggering for you, you are one of the indoctrinated people. So I'm so glad that you're here, because you need to wake up. Money is an energy. We live in a quantum world. Everything is an energy. So, money is an amplifier. If you are an immoral person who is unjust and will always choose personal gain over environmental issues or over societal issues, and you get blessed with wealth, you are going to use your wealth to become more selfish. You're going to become more greedy. You are going to put your money in things that are going to kill the environment and probably have really bad social and moral ideals. That's just the way it is. And what society has done to make it so this indoctrination continues to occur is they have made any single show ever about anyone being rich showing that they are the most immoral person in the world. Look at the show Billions. I love that show. I think it's brilliant. And it shows you one of the most immoral characters ever making money. And that's just one show. There are millions, every single show out there. I've never even seen one show where they show you that a rich person is a moral person. I've never seen one show where I'm sorry, I just got really distracted because there's a turtle crossing the road, and there's cars coming, and I was just praying that they were driving around the turtle, and they are. Oh my God. This makes me so happy. Oh, I wish somebody would go get him though. Okay, totally distracted. Sorry. He's so cute. He's just crawling across the road trying to get there quickly. I have a bunch of ponds out by me, and I have a nature preserve. And normally the turtles stay in the pond, but every once in a while they end up venturing. Okay, coming back to what I was saying. But everything that talks about money is always doing this divide where it says that wealthy people are immoral. Wealthy people put their money to bad things. People living in poverty are good people. They're the hardest working. And then we put this huge emphasis on working hard. And it's like, you guys, working hard is part of the factory schooling system that you've also been indoctrinated in. You were indoctrinated by the patriarchy that told you that you had to work hard or you had to feel guilty because you weren't working hard enough to provide for your family because you are in poverty, and so you have to work really hard to get out of poverty. Working really hard is not the way that you get out of poverty. Yes, hard work to a certain extent and commitment and dedication is absolutely required, but working hard isn't it. If we look at the hardest working people, janitors, bartenders, servers, all of the people that are really slaving away, they are in the lowest income gap. People that are cleaning houses, people that are cleaning things for a living, people that are doing manual physical labor, they make the least amount of money and they work the hardest. And I totally get this indoctrination. My first job ever was when I was 16 years old, and I used to work at a horse barn, and I had to wake up earlier to go to my job than I did to go to high school. And I lived in the country. If I walked 45 minutes, I was halfway around a lake. So sometimes I would have to ride my bicycle if I couldn't get a ride from my father or stepmother at the time to actually get to work. And then I would go in to a show barn, which, if you don't know, is basically a really, really clean barn. It's for people that ride horses in shows. So it's not a dirty place. I always joke that you could eat off that floor because I spent so much time cleaning it a day. But I used to muck out, so clean 25 horse stalls and take care of 25 horses. And if I didn't get done by 12, I didn't get paid. Like, it was the craziest thing. And I want to say I made $60 a week doing that. And they somehow sold me on the fact that I could get a free riding lesson, and that free riding lesson was like $60 a week. So I basically made no money, and I was doing manual labor, and I was working harder at this job, and then going to high school, and sometimes working for free. Like, obviously this was all not legal, but that's besides the point. So for me, I played sports my entire life. I played basketball, and then I played softball for 8 years. So it's like that compounded onto having an actual physical manual labor job. I believed that the only way that you could get something was that you had to work really hard for it. I remember in 4th grade, my t-shirt for my basketball team saying, "No pain, no gain." And that was when they still used to have us do suicides, which is when you would run down the court and have to touch all the lines. I don't know if they still make kids do that. And I'm sure that they've changed the name because you're not allowed to use that word anymore, but whatever. So I'm saying all of this because I totally understand why people believe that hard work is required. I had to unpack that probably harder than most people in my generation, because most millennials did not have a military father that told them at 15 years old that they were starting to become a financial burden and they needed to get a job. And I was like, if I walk 45 minutes around the lake, I'm just or like partially around the lake, what do you want me to do? And he said, figure it out. Like, most people in my generation, especially if you talk to a baby boomer, they'll tell you that we don't work hard. That's bullshit. I'm the hardest motherfucking worker that you will ever see. And like, facts, I will always prove that. So for me to start my own business and to start believing that hard work wasn't required, I had to unpack a lot, especially when it came to money. And it's like, but if I actually unpacked that, that was the job where I absolutely worked the hardest, physically, laboriously, and I, without question, made the least amount of money. You have to start looking at situations and evidence that actually unpack this indoctrination. So we've been so indoctrinated around money that most people won't even listen to somebody who's teaching them how to have an abundant mindset or how to tap into wealth energetics or to heal their relationship with money, because they are so triggered about money and they have such a negative connotation with money that it's just like when you say the word God to somebody who had a bad experience with the Catholic Church. They're going to be triggered. They're not going to want to hear it. They're going to leave the conversation. And I get it. I was one of those people too. If you said God to me before I actually worked through my trauma from the Catholic Church, before, I don't know, like when I was in my early 20s, if you had said the word God to me, I would leave. I would be uncomfortable. I would never talk to you again, probably, because I was like, ew, like, no, I'm not. So I get it. And in order for you to have the wealth that you desire, you can't have a negative connotation about money. And you have to realize that if you look at where all of your money beliefs came from, they were installed in you by your parents, who were probably blue collar or in the poverty class workers. And what's so crazy is if you were born into a wealthy family, you would be taught that money is the easiest thing in the world to make. You would be taught that money is a reliable and consistent resource and you always have more than enough money. You would have learned that you have the money to buy anything you want. You would have all of these beautiful beliefs around money. And even if you started a business and you lost all of your money, you would gain it back. And then anyone that wins the lottery, it's like 70 to 80% of lottery winners lose all of their money and they're in a worse place than when they started. And it's like, but what are the majority of people doing? They're still playing the lottery and hoping that it's going to save them. But the lottery isn't going to save you because you have a poverty consciousness, and poverty consciousness will always get you a poverty lifestyle, because everything is energy first. So wealth consciousness will always bring more wealth, and poverty consciousness will always bring more poverty. And this is what the majority of people don't realize. And they don't realize it because they're just so indoctrinated and they just fight the limitations and they fight for their lack. And it's like, in order for us to have a collective where people are happy and healthy and feeling fulfilled and feeling satisfied and in love with their lives and in love with their work, we need to stop teaching this indoctrination around money, because money is a resource and a tool to get you everything that you desire in life. But if you don't believe that, then you're never going to have it, and it's never going to support you in the way where it gets to. And I just don't understand why. Like, why would you keep choosing to live in lack and scarcity and poverty just because you've always been taught that? If somebody tells you, no matter what age you are, that, hey, I can tell you how to have a healthy relationship with money and you can make more money in a month than you ever thought was possible in an entire year, wouldn't you be like, oh my God, I'm so grateful that I found you. I don't care if I'm 37. Please teach me your ways, because from 37 on, I'm going to be a wealthy person who gets to live such an easy and freedom-filled life. And that's the consciousness level you should be at when somebody starts telling you that money doesn't have to be this limited resource, that everything you believe about money is what you're going to receive. So you need to change your beliefs around money. You need to learn how to actually play into and tap into and hold wealth frequency so that your nervous system is regulated when you do receive money. Because quite honestly, if you were handed a big check right now, you probably wouldn't even know what to do with it, and you would probably feel super dysregulated. Money isn't technically going to change you. It can change the quality of life that you can have. It can change the opportunities that are available for you. It can change things, but money can't actually change you. You have to change you. And a lot of the time when money isn't coming to us, I truly believe it's because we haven't fully tapped into our truth of who we are, of what we came here to do. And we are still playing small because we think that we can't tap into our full capabilities and our full potential until we have this money. And the thing is, you have to start tapping into your potential now, trusting that when you tap into your potential, you're going to create something magical and money is going to come as a result of it. Money is an energy that gets to flow to you when you understand how to work with it instead of work against it. And here's the thing is, I was going to school I worked for the New York State government for 8 years. I was going to school for business and technology management. And then I decided to switch my major and to go into this program that would allow me to start a dual major and to be getting my MBA at the same time. Do you know what I learned in every single finance class and every single accounting class? They were treating money like it was a limited resource. And they were teaching you how to manage a limited resource. But when you understand the wealth energetics, you understand that money isn't a limited resource. So that system is primarily based on lack, and you can't have a lack-based system and get abundance. You can't have a lack-based mind and receive abundance. So many people are aware of the law of attraction, yet they do not realize how the law of attraction works when it comes to money. If you are constantly in lack, if you're constantly talking negatively about money, if you're always saying, I can't afford this and that's too expensive and how dare they have that much money, and judging people that have money, you are in lack frequency. And what you are vibrating at is what you receive. So the math won't math. If you are vibrating with lack and you think about lack, you can only get more lack. You have to have an abundant mindset and have an abundant frequency to actually receive abundance. And here's the thing, because we have been so indoctrinated around money, money isn't something that you're going to be able to just learn once and it's going to change everything. There's a lot of healing work that has to be done. You literally have to rewire your mind. You literally have to recode your cellular DNA. You literally have to regulate your nervous system. You have to become a completely different person with money before the money comes. And that is why I have an entire program called Currency, because this isn't just money mindset. I dropped in there last night a 90-minute hypnosis session, which is going to literally rewire your mind while you're sleeping without you having to look at every traumatic money experience that you've had, because that's a lot of the money mindset work that women are teaching or that people are teaching. And it's like, if that worked, then we wouldn't see so many women in business not able to hit consistent 10K months because they've done the money mindset work. Money is an entire body experience, mind, body, soul. We need to get into the psyche, your money psyche. And that is what I am teaching you in Currency. You get access to pre-work, which is going to transform how you relate to money forever. I've got practices in there that you're going to do daily so that you're actually recoding your cellular DNA throughout the day. This is a program that for the past 10 years, I wish existed while I was doing money work, and realized that money mindset alone wasn't enough because it didn't actually deal with your body and the somatic responses that we have when it comes to money. And it didn't actually change your energy and your ability to expand and to hold, because when you want more money, you have to be able to expand and hold higher frequencies, and wealth frequency is a very high vibrational frequency. But because we've been practicing lack for so long, the majority of us can't actually hold higher frequencies. So this is the work that literally transformed my life. It's the work that will allow money to come into your life and have it be reliable and consistent. This is how you'll wake up every single day to payment notifications, to women DMing you, asking you how they can pay in full for your private mentorship. This is how people are going to be signing up for all of your programs, and you're going to be selling things that you're not actually selling, but sales are just going to be coming through. You're going to be creating businesses that are just profitable. When you do this work, everything changes because you change. And I find that a lot of people are still approaching money like a material manifestation and putting money on a pedestal and then wondering why they can't hold it and sustain it. And it's like, because you can't just learn money from free content. You can't just learn from one book or one podcast. You actually have to invest and get yourself in a container that's going to walk you through changing everything in you that's wired towards lack to be wired towards abundance. So if you are still having a relationship with money that isn't ideal, if you're desiring to have higher cash months, if you're desiring for money to be easier, if you're desiring for a wealthy life on your own terms, if you want to be able to say yes to the things that you desire and no to the things that you don't without having to look at a price tag and to constantly be living your life looking at prices saying, can I afford this or can I have this, even though you know that it's what you want and you desire. I want your desires to align with your wealth, so that way your wealth can always support your desires. And that is why I created Currency. So even though Alchemy of Manifestation is the best place for you to learn how to rewire your mind, recode your cellular DNA, and regulate your nervous system to really do the healing work and to do the mindset work and to do the energetic work to learn how to manifest, because we haven't been taught how to do this. But like I said, money needs its own thing because we have been indoctrinated since birth. And when we talk about epigenetics, that's 14 generations. Your 14 generations back were probably in a lineage of poverty. So it's not just you that you're doing this healing work for, you're literally healing your lineage. And I truly believe that if you are alive on earth at this time, you came here to be one of the generational curse breakers, and that means having a healthy relationship with money. So if you are ready to completely transform how you interact with money so that way you can have high income months and you can have big cash coming in and always have the money available for your desires, then click on the link in my show notes and join Currency, because this is the program that is going to transform your relationship with money forever. All right, I love you guys so much, and until the next episode, I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you're ready to go deeper and to get into my world, you can go to my website, alexaraesmith.com. You'll find all of my current programs on there. If you're desiring to get mentored by me, then the best thing to do is shoot me a DM on Instagram and we can talk about mentorship options and which one's the best fit for you. If you're absolutely loving this podcast, please go rate it 5 stars and let me know why you're loving it. This will help me share the podcast with more people. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and until the next episode, keep manifesting the most incredible life.